To security matters now, officers of the Inspector General of Police Intelligence Response Team in Ogun State have apprehended a gang of 9, including herbalists and clerics who admit to killing a woman for rituals. Surprisingly, the leader of the gang, Segun Olaniyi, calls himself the devil, but pleads for mercy. The police say the suspects will face the full wrath of the law.
It's the end of the road for Segun Olaniyi, a herbalist in Iwekoro area of Ogun State, as the police arrest him for killing his childhood lover and mother of 2, Abosede Yonda, for rituals, a crime he has admitted to.
I agree that I'm actually the devil, but I'm begging God to forgive me.
The late Abosede had visited her long-lost boyfriend shortly after they re-established contacts, but unknown to her, the lover boy already had a plan arched out for which she had to pay with her life. Olaniyi admits to sedating the unsuspecting lady before luring her to the river where he drowned her.
I need a woman flesh that I want to use for ritual. Then I don't see it to buy. Teach me some work to do it. So then how do I get it? So I now call all those 2 guys. Then after I finish killing the girl, I now called me. They have butcher it, do everything. So then what I want to use out of it is flesh. So I now say, okay, you have do the work finish. I now take the little one that I want to use, put it in pot. I gathered the materials. I started burning this movie.
But he did not do it all alone. He had other accomplices who helped him with the killing before butchering the body parts for sale to other members of their gang. It took several weeks for the police to track them down, but they eventually ran out of luck and are finally behind bars, ready to face the consequences of their action.
They come! Yes! Slow motion!
The IG's intelligence response team says they will be charged to court and be made to serve as deterrent to others with such intent and those still involved in the act of killing for ritual purposes.
Well, the very disturbing story there. But to all the stories, there's been an attack on the convoy of the Imo State Governor, Mr. Hope Uzodinma, during his visit to Mahu in Etim Etimemma local government area of the state today. The governor had visited the community to pay condolence visits to families of some victims who lost their lives during a truck crash there. Police authorities in the state said some unidentified persons attacked the governor's car while he was inside the palace of the traditional ruler of the community, addressing stakeholders. But the state government, in a different statement, said the governor was not attacked, but some aggrieved youths who wanted him to address them on the activities of some oil companies in the area threw stones at the governor's official vehicle where they were parked and in the process smashed the back of the glass of the car. The statement adds that the person who threw the stone has been arrested. In Delta State, there is a passionate appeal to the president from the people of Ughelli Azagba community in Anyocha North local government area of the state to prevail on security agencies to liberate them from incessant attacks from allegedly suspected herdsmen. The residents of their community say their local vigilante has become overwhelmed by these attacks, which has left no fewer than 8 persons dead and others kidnapped.
This is Ughelli Azagba in Anyocha North local government area of Delta State. Everywhere looks calm and peaceful. On October the 14th, 2019, Azagba Secondary School came under attack by suspected armed herdsmen, but this was foiled by the local vigilante, which eventually led to the death of 2 people, including a teacher. 2 months later, the community was invaded again by suspected herdsmen, killing 2 people and abducting a 13-year-old girl. Less than 3 weeks later, another man and his daughter were killed and his wife abducted. Just 5 days after this attack, and just when the community is still trying to recover from the shock of what has transpired, tragedy struck again. This time, it was this guest house that was under attack. The gunmen reportedly stormed the guest house, killing 2 persons and abducting 5 others. The people are worried and have organized this press conference to tell their story of how unsafe and insecure they have become in their own home.
All these attacks became a very big problem to us. We know the vigilante is actually our own vigilante. They are working. Government presence is also here. The police have arrived. There's a serious patrol going on in the town. But we want more support.
It's not about the particular tribe. If an Hausa man commits crime and we say so, let it be so. If an Igbo man commits a crime and it's an Igbo man, let it be so. Our aim is to say that we are under siege, we are under attack. It doesn't matter the color. Whosoever is doing this is the person that we are against. If it's Fulani, it can be anybody.
The atmosphere is tense and the call for a quick solution is apt. These attacks have taken a huge toll on the socio-economic life of the people, while farmers are too scared to go to their farms. For now, a police patrol is currently in place, but the people insist on a more effective approach to stop the killings and other crimes perpetrated by these bandits.
Elsewhere, according to the Debt Management Office, DMO, the value of the domestic and foreign debt of the federal government of Nigeria was 21 trillion naira as at the end of the third quarter of last year, 2019. The federal government says that it will use new foreign loans to finance the nation's infrastructure deficit, especially to complete existing projects that could improve the ease of doing business and also the welfare of families. But have previous foreign loans achieved their goals, and are they viable alternatives to external borrowing? Babajide Ogunsowo is here tonight to discuss the external borrowing plan of the government. Welcome to the News at 10.
Good evening, Millicent.
All right, it's been a while.
It is.
All right, so what's the status of the country's debt? Is also there any reason to be bothered that the government wants to, or it's been approved, borrow $22.7 billion?
I'll answer your question, but I'd like to start from a slightly different perspective. And that's because on this same day in 2014, a Malaysian airline, Flight 370, after rising, suddenly disappeared. So tonight isn't just about remembering that flight and what happened. Tonight is about the question on the lips of Nigerians, and that is, will Nigeria's rising debt suddenly disappear? And before I go into answering that, there are top 3 reasons why the debt has been rising. The first is, in the federal government's budget, the benchmark for oil was $57. That's the first reason. Right now, oil is trading at $52. The second reason is population. Population is growing, and so there are more people that need houses, health, education, security, and of course, utilities. Now, the third reason is domestic non-oil revenue is not growing at the pace at which the federal government hopes. In other words, cash from corporate income tax, VAT, and customs is not growing at the rate at which the government expects. And so those are the top 3 reasons why the government is increasing in its borrowing plans. But quickly to your question, should Nigerians be concerned? And for that, I will point you to 2 places. Now, if you look at the Quran, they had it, 3341. And also in the Bible, Proverbs 22, verse 7, it says, the borrower is slave to the lender. And so some people believe that even though we're out of colonialism, borrowing is neo-colonialism. In other words, borrowing makes sure, keeps us slave to the countries that we borrow from.
So perhaps a major question is, looking at the trends, have previous foreign loans, have their objectives been met?
One of the ways to look at the objectives is to look at what we like to talk about, growth, GDP growth. And if we look at foreign loans from 1963, when our foreign debt portfolio was below $100 million to what it is today, over $22 billion, is there a correlation between foreign loans and economic growth? And the answer is no. The evidence shows that the correlation between foreign growth of our loans and GDP is 0.46. So let's look at the chart of the day. And if we also look at the chart of the day, here's what you will find out. In 1999, our foreign loans, as at the end of 1999, was 2.6 trillion naira. We've seen foreign loans increase and decrease, but the fact is today, our foreign loans has grown from what it was in 1999 of 2.6 trillion naira to 7 trillion naira. In other words, or in simple terms, today our foreign debt is approximately 3 times what it was in 1999.
But can we afford not to borrow? Is there an alternative to reduce the borrowing?
We need to make more money domestically. So if there's one recommendation for the federal government, it will be invest crude oil revenue in income-generating assets and enterprises. Yes, the government in the short term has to keep borrowing domestic and foreign, but we need to remember Proverbs 22:7. The borrower is slave
To the lender.
to the lender.
Many thanks, Babajide Ogunsoro. Thank you for your insights.
The
on
pleasure
this
is all
matter.
mine.
Independent newspapers, they've held their award ceremony in Lagos to honor individuals and organizations that have distinguished themselves in different fields in the country. Organizers of the award say works in the past year, 2019, were reviewed to arrive at the choice of awardees in the various categories.
Guests for the evening came from far and wide. The Emir of Kefi, His Royal Highness Chindoya Musa II, as well as representatives of the Oba of Benin, captains of industry, doyens of banking and insurance, governors and their entourage, friends, well-wishers and civil society. All settled in.
Can you please put your hands together for
The Erelu of Lagos, Abiola Dosumu, the chairperson of the occasion, dwelt on what the very essence of awards should be in the country.
If we only recognize and give awards to those same people over and over again, we are certainly going to be stuck in the past when the world is racing into the future.
Now to the awards.
Joining him off stage.
First category is the Actor of the Year award in the entertainment industry that went to Mercy Johnson Okoje. Joe Okoje was there to receive it on her behalf. Chi Group was awarded the Food and Beverage Company of the Year. Anchor Insurance bagged the Insurer of the Year with a clear message from the Managing Director to the governors present.
I'm happy many governors are here today. Nigerians is seriously underinsured. We need to get ourselves insured.
The Deputy Governor of Delta State, who was awarded Peace Ambassador in the Niger Delta region, gave an account of what has been done to keep restiveness in the region at bay.
We did a lot of advocacy campaign, and that indeed was able to bring to bear peace and security in the environment.
the governor of Plateau State?
Then the tempo steps up a notch higher, starting with the Plateau State Governor, who begs Governor of the Year for Peace and Security.
The Operation Rainbow. That is the only state security outfit. And I said, others who are trying to develop security outfits should come and copy from Plateau State.
The digital governor from Cross River State is excellent.
His counterpart from Cross Rivers, Ben Ayade, is honored with the Governor of the Year award, Agro-Industrial Development.
If you don't put food on the table, if you concentrate on infrastructures, projects that don't have a direct bearing on the welfare of your citizens, you will definitely have the kind of social deviance that we have today.
The hall went almost hysterical as the Governor of the Year, Economy and Youth, was ushered to the podium.
I believe it is Business Day. From its own independent analysis about 2 months ago, published that in Edo State we had created about 157,000 jobs.
His exit, graced with fireworks, for many, was the climax. However, the Independent Newspaper Man of the Year award goes to the Governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje, who was represented by the Commissioner for Information.
Congratulations to all the winners. Still ahead on the news at 10. It's heartbreaking as Nassau United defender Chineme Martin slumps and dies during MPFL clash against Casino United in Lafayette. That's on Sports News. Please stay with us.